It was supposed to be a simple weekend getaway, a small lodge in the mountains, far from the city, advertised as peaceful, quiet, perfect for people who needed to escape. I arrived just before dusk, bags in hand, and was greeted by the caretaker, an old man with a stooped back and eyes that didn't quite focus. "Welcome," he said, voice low, almost a whisper. "You're just in time. Visitors aren't allowed to leave before sunrise." I left nervously. "I guess I'll have to wake up early then?" The old man shook his head slowly. "No, not early. Until the sun rises. Do not try to leave before then." I waved it off as a quirky local rule. Everyone has rules, I thought. The lodge was cozy. Wood floors, roaring fireplace, old paintings lining the walls. Guests mingled, sipping tea, laughing quietly. I felt relaxed. The sun dipped below the horizon. Night fell. Shadows stretched across the lodge, swallowing corners of the hallways. Around 11 p.m., I noticed something strange. The laughter had stopped. Conversations had ceased. Everyone sat perfectly still, staring at the fire. The warmth of the room felt wrong, heavy. Pressing, I checked my phone. No signal. That was odd, but not alarming. I tried calling the caretaker. The hallway was empty. The old man had disappeared. I walked toward the entrance. Think maybe a walk outside would help. The front door wouldn't budge. Locked tight. I pushed, rattled, slammed my shoulder into it. Nothing. I turned back to the lounge. The guests, they were staring at me now. All of them, faces pale, eyes dark, expressionless. Not a single blink. A whisper rose from the corner. At first, I thought it was the wind. Then a voice, clear and calm. "You shouldn't try to leave." I froze. My heart hammered. The shadows in the corners of the room seemed to stretch toward me. The temperature dropped. Breath misted in front of my face. I ran upstairs, hoping my room would offer some safety. The hallways stretched unnaturally. The doors along the walls weren't the same ones I had passed earlier. They were cracked, warped, glowing faintly in the darkness. Behind each door, I heard whispers. Names being called. Laughter that didn't reach any eyes. I reached my room, slammed the door shut, locked it. But the knocking began immediately. Soft. Slow. Then faster. Something was trying to get in. The voice came again. "Visitors are not allowed to leave before sunrise." I screamed, pounded the door. "Let me out." Then silence. I looked out the peephole. The hallway was empty, but shadows moved along the walls. Not guests, something else. Something long and thin, crawling across the floor and ceiling. I sat in the corner, flashlight shaking in my hand, counting the hours. Minutes passed like years. At some point, the fire went out. Total darkness. The whispers grew louder, coming from everywhere, from under the floor, behind the walls, the ceiling above. Names I didn't know, voices calling me, promising safety, promising escape, but also warning, do not leave. I tried to sleep. Impossible. Every time I closed my eyes, the room shifted. My bed grew larger. The walls stretched. Shadows of people I didn't know sat at the edge of the bed, waiting. The old man appeared at the doorway, pale in the dim light of the hall. "They don't leave," he whispered. "Not until sunrise. You must wait. No one can help you." Hours dragged. My sense of time disappeared. I lost count. I banged on the walls, the floor, my head. The voices only grew louder. Finally, a faint light touched the room, gray and pale. Sunrise. The shadows recoiled. The whispers faltered. The hallway returned to normal. The other guests looked normal again, as if nothing had happened. The front door opened easily. I ran down the stairs, out the lodge, into the cold morning air. I didn't stop. When I looked back, the lodge was quiet, peaceful, inviting. Not a shadow in sight. The old man waved from the porch. "Come back next night," he said. "We always have room for visitors." I never went back. But sometimes, just before dawn, I hear whisper in my dreams. Visitors are not allowed to leave before sunrise. And I know, somewhere out there, the lodge waits for the next guest who doesn't know the rule.
Subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon.